For real. Here we go. Welcome to a 1v1 on Angoville. This game's going to be LionKing versus Panzergrenadier Nordland. LionKing playing as U.S. forces in the south, U.S. forces infantry mechanized versus Panzergrenadier Nordland's mechanized assault Oster in the north. Assault Grenadier opening going straight for the fuel. We're going to see LionKing going with standard 3 rifle opening, throwing some tank traps down in the various capture points with his rear echelons as he captures them, taking control of the right side cutoff building with his riflemen, moving up into range with these riflemen. And the map will pretty much get split in half here initially. Rear echelon troops will spot the machine gun moving up to cover this approach, which means that this flanking route will maybe machine gun be a little bit vulnerable from there, but both squads of riflemen have moved up the left side and are probably going to go straight for the building there. LionKing has also locked in airborne. Airborne is a pretty solid choice against mechanized assault because of the 4 CP AT gun drop. You don't have to go captain tier to counter the Stug E. Neither player sending anything left. Rear echelon troops should probably consider starting to do left side harassment since they're pretty much just standing idle here. It looks like they're on their way to take some of that territory now. Riflemen jump into the building. This squad of riflemen moving towards the cutoff here in the north. There's one squad of grenadiers there. Mortar in production now. So very diverse opening from the Oster player, going with 1 Gren, 1 MG, 1 mortar, and assault grenadiers. So interesting choice. Getting a mortar that early may prove very difficult to take any territory, but it will help him against these buildings. I don't know if I think that's worth it though. Mortar's on its way. Assault grenadiers are going to jump into short range against those riflemen. They drop a little bit of health on the approach. Look at that early grenade tech. Fortunately, the grenade toss was off target ever so slightly right there. That could have been a wipe. It might still be a wipe. They're about to cross a road. They will get away to safety. Tier 1 structure built right on the edge of the base structure to allow for forward reinforcement in an engagement against this house. The mortar has started firing on these squads, and they're going to have to start pulling back to safety. I think that was a misclick. Probably just jumped in that shed. Oh god. Pretty nice mortar hit right there. Pios fortunately get away from that engagement alive. Narrowly. That squad has to retreat after that mortar hit, and this one will probably also have to retreat very soon. They're going to try and camp this building, but I don't envision them doing well in this engagement for any significant amount of time. Grenadiers are getting back control of this sector successfully.
Gather round.
Rear echelon troops taking control of the left side fuel. Gonna jump into some green cover behind some tank traps over here on the left. One-man rifle squad grabbing some territory over there as well. Pretty significant size of forces going back to the right side. Up to 2 Grens now. Hasn't lost any full squads yet. Nobody has, I don't think. No wipes yet. Been a pretty hard and fast, highly lethal game, and some near misses, but nothing wiped. I guess it hasn't been that lethal. 6 and 6. So completely even for model losses thanks to the efforts of mortar, assault grenadiers, frag grenades. Mostly these Grens apparently. Rear echelon troops taking control of everything left, throwing down green cover and barbed wire to try and deny the usage of that cover to his opponent. I think there's still some slots on both sides, but mostly green cover slots will be on the south of that position. Mortar falling on these riflemen, so they're going to have to try and keep in motion as they engage against these troops. Going to move out of that yellow cover position. Not want to take too much more sustained mortar fire. With a 5 rifle opening, by the way, LionKing is going really hard into infantry for airborne. It's pretty unusual to see people get this many riflemen as airborne because they should probably just spend the manpower on paratroopers later on. Paratroopers are so much better in every way. In almost every way except for initial purchase price. They have the same reinforced cost as riflemen, bigger squad size, better damage, better upgrades, demo charges, faster grenades. I guess their grenades are a little buggier and they don't have smoke and they have no anti-tank. rifle grenade. And they're slightly less versatile, but pretty strong. Especially on a map like this, it's nice to have LMGs in this long-range area over here on the left side. But see what he chooses to do. Riflemen do not want to advance into this machine gun bunker. This avenue is still available to him. He could probably harass that munitions. Maybe pull some forces over there. But he's sending pretty much everything left initially, and his first officer will be captain. So 5 rifles into captain. Into maybe a Stuart? I don't know. Going captain will help against mechanized assault. Captain tier is generally a pretty okay decision against mechanized assault. Although generally, if you've gone airborne, you don't feel a particular need to go captain. You can just pair drop AT guns. But still, whatever. Having a Stuart will be nice against the Shugi, theoretically, maybe. Having, the bazookas on the captain himself. I don't think there's anything wrong with captain tier, and I think that Panzergrenadier Nordland is going to have to take more territory to win this game. I don't think Oster can stand a very good chance of winning a game on 3 strategic points and 1 of each resource point. It would be very difficult. LionKing is going to attempt to punish Panzergrenadier's campy behavior with a fuel cache, try and bolster his own economy a little bit since the game's been quite quiet. Another thing you can do if your opponent is just kind of turtling like this is maybe a pack howitzer. Pack howitzer's not great, but it's still indirect fire. It's still some kind of long-range unit, and he's already gone captain tier, so why the hell not? Gonna field himself an AT gun? Nope, changed his mind. Maybe he does want to go pack howitzer. Try and bombard his opponent from range. Although when there's already an Oster mortar on the field, it might actually not really be worth going pack howitzer, because the mortar is quite good at clearing the pack howitzer, and it becomes kind of expensive to try and keep it crude. But we'll see. Captain is about to maybe try and destroy this bunker. Rather than flanking around behind it, he's just going to deploy smoke and flank frontally. A frontal flank. But it's not working. He should have gone around the right side, because there's still an MG42 set up right there, unfortunately. It doesn't look like that push is going to work. Frag grenade into this building as assault grenadiers try and harass a little bit. Pretty good damage to the squad there, immediately forced to retreat. Pio's moving up with a flamethrower to try and push away that captain. And these riflemen are advancing across the central road against these grenadiers, trying to brute force them from the building, and they will be successful. Taking control of the building themselves, continue to advance, try and push these grenadiers from the structure. 221 is in production now for Panzergrenadier Nordland to maybe try and start bleeding some of those infantry, but I think against captain tier, getting a scout car this late might be a mistake. In fact, there is already a Stuart on the field. You don't want a Stuart hitting the field before your scout car, if that can at all be avoided. Riflemen deploy another smoke grenade. Captain moves up to deal further damage to the bunker here. Needs to attack ground though. There he goes. AT gun is set up over here, so he may be able to punish the Stuart with that. Riflemen are forced to retreat here by flamethrower and scout car fire. Not going to be able to win that engagement. Late retreat on that rifle squad, and that's the first wipe of the game. I think riflemen do go down, but bunker also cleared over here on the right side, so that's good. Stuart making its way to the front line, needs to be very careful. Only 2 AT gunshots to destroy that Stuart. Rifleman will acquire vision of that scout car, but the Stuart knows it cannot advance aggressively with that AT gun on the field, and we will see pack howitzer fielded. Try and punish this very defensive play. Let's see if it works. I think it has potential. Grenade tossed into the building. Wow, nice frag. Almost wipes the grenadiers inside. This force moving up out of the Oster base will prompt LionKing to retreat. And no ambulance yet for LionKing, so he's kind of struggling to find ways to keep wounded rifle squads combat effective. Should definitely consider throwing an ambulance out soon. Although, with 109 fuel in the bank, because of really solid map control, really all game, plus this fuel cache, and has very high fuel income, he does need to balance out the timing of his ambulance with the timing of his first tank. He's going to want to start transitioning in to Tier 4 very soon, and that requires manpower to do. Ambulance would slow that down. Smoke grenade deployed by these riflemen as they try to... Wow, that beautiful pack howitzer shot. Very first shot it takes, insta-pins the mortar. Frag grenade coming in, rifle grenade on the riflemen, almost wiping them. The Stuart will cruise, shell shock the scout car and destroy that. Smoke is interfering with the AT gun's ability to fire on the Stuart. Panzerfaust, AT gun shot misses. Pack howitzer firing over the hedge, trying to bleed these team weapons. The mortar has been cleared, but the MG42 has a line on these riflemen again. Repair critical on the Stuart by the vehicle crew right there. They get back inside. There's a ton of grenadiers right here, though, and I don't think that Stuart's going to get away. Panzerfaust will destroy it. Pack howitzer also being flamethrowered to death by Pyos moving up the left flank, and it looks like the engagement is going to be lost because two squads of infantry are in the base. One is over here on the left side cut off, and LionKing just got overwhelmed right there. Deploying paratroopers. Emergency response to this pack howitzer, which looks like it's about to get stolen. They're being fielded here in the north behind the machine gun, which should definitely start thinking about rotating to counter. Ooh, but the Stug E is perfectly timed to shut that down. Stug on the field will easily force those paratroopers to retreat back into the base. I don't know what they're waiting for. There they go. Take 3 losses before maybe rounding the corner. Mechanized Assault Group also fielded at the same time as the Stug E for maximum shock value here. I think Panzergrenadier Nordland might be trying to end the game right now. I don't know. If that Stug goes in particularly hard, Assault Grenadiers will recover the decrew pack howitzer right there. The Stug is not going to chase into the base. And without the Stug supporting, LionKing is in no real danger here. Stuart is dead, pack howitzer stolen. Off to a pretty rough mid-game here, though. But LionKing still has a perfectly good working core of infantry, and he also still has a ton of map control. But I think that map control is probably going to start waning now. And like I said before, the timing of his tank looks like it's going to be a little bit behind, and he still can't get an ambulance out if he wants the Sherman to come out pretty quick. Not super quick, but pretty quick. He went Stuart, so it delays his Sherman by a few minutes. But because his map control is so good, it's still going to come out pretty fast. And he's going to throw Supervise on the Tier 4 just to get it out that much quicker. Sherman hit the field very fast thanks to the supervising captain. Major and Sherman both done in rapid succession. Will send his forces back out onto the battlefield, try to recover from this situation. Engaging with wounded riflemen will be very dangerous with the Stug E on the field. Slowly, Grenadiers are going to start harassing territories over here on the left side. The squad of Grenadiers moves to take control of this territory. And pack howitzers set up here in the back. No half-track on the field, by the way, for Panzergrenadier Nordland. He has gone Tier 2, but no half-track yet, so he still has no form of forward reinforcement to try and recover his team weapons. And so on. Sherman is going to try and take out that Stug. Unfortunately, the Sherman revealed itself on this strategic point right here, so the Stug is aware of that Sherman and is going to pull back to safety away from it. It's also got high explosive rounds right now, so I don't think he even wants to counter the Stug with the Sherman. I think he just wants to kill infantry and team weapons. He'd probably have better luck if he counter-harassed on the left side of that Sherman than trying to crack the Ghost Air defense over here on the right. There is an AT gun over here. I guess there's nothing other than that AT gun, though. He might be able to have a pretty dramatic impact with that Sherman, especially if supported by infantry. If he switches to armor-piercing rounds, I think there's a very real possibility of him killing that Stug. Probably have to deploy smoke on the AT gun in conjunction with this push. Right, Captain's going to peek at half health. Very dangerous. First Stug shot connects. His squad takes a... Oh god, they all just clumped behind that shrub. and they will have no choice but to retreat. He saw the way they were clumped and knew they were like one shot from getting wiped. Pulled them out of that engagement. Back howitzer gets a random shot on the Sherman. One bazooka shot penetrated the Stug right there, bringing its health down a little bit, but nothing too serious. And these 3 squads will continue to harass the left, uncontested. And all American infantry is going to retreat back into the base, out of this engagement for healing. Finally, the ambulance will hit the field at 16 minutes in. You can see what a difference that 5th Rifle Squad really made. Plus paratroopers. 5 rifles plus paratroopers means manpower is kind of a little scarce. Makes the timing of that ambulance kind of weird. Sherman is going to perfectly catch that squad of Panzergrenadiers right there. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that random pick. That was so lucky. I can't even believe that just happened. Sherman 2 shots the squad. They get wiped. Panzergrenadiers wiped. Half-track wiped. No support over there on the left side. The Sherman just happened to bump right into that over there on the left side, and the squad goes down. Does take engine damage from Panzerfaust. Has to pull back a little bit for repairs. I don't think anything is on its way to follow up on that damaged engine Sherman. No AT gun on its way. Sherman will be fine. Receiving engine repairs over here on the left side, and these 3 riflemen are moving to try and push away all infantry over here on the left, get back control of all this territory over here. And the ambulance will finally bring everything LionKing has back up to full health as it makes its way back to the front line.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. Enemy forces are securing our territory. Reinforcements complete.
You need something built or blown up?
The territory is out of contact.
Pio's making their way to the right side to get control of this victory point. A couple squads moving up to take control of the left side cut off with fully repaired Sherman moving to support. The Stug doesn't have a whole lot of freedom to apply pressure to infantry with this Sherman on the field. Panzergrenadier needs to field probably at least 1 more AT gun to really be safe from this thing. You might want to consider some Teller mines as well. I think that was a major recon pass? Yes, recon pass from the major division of the Osterith base. You see that it's undefended and move his Sherman in to start blowing up these bunkers, I guess. He destroys these bunkers. Maybe he'll start advancing into the base with his infantry and start demo charging the tech structures maybe with his paratroopers. If he blows up the tier 2, no further AT guns can be produced, but 2 are already on the field, so...
Our opponents are seizing
I don't know,
the
maybe
sector.
he's just blowing up those bunkers, apparently. Huge counterattack on its way to the left. Assault Grenadiers and 2 Grenadier squads on their way. Captain and paratroopers will spot this first. LMGs on the paratroopers will make them pretty combat effective at this range, but they're still outnumbered by LMG Grens, so they're getting laser beamed down pretty quick, and they have no vet either. That engagement doesn't go very well for them. Smoke deployed on the second bunker, and riflemen are going to dive into the base, apparently. I don't understand this base rush with riflemen. AT guns push the Sherman back a little bit. 2 squads of riflemen do get into the base, I guess, but there's a Stug trying to push them out, bleeding that squad hard. It will be forced to retreat through Stug fire, and they get wiped. These Grenadiers are heavily wounded, though. Riflemen have access to a frag grenade, which will get tossed right there. Oh, Stug pushes them clear, and they will be safe and able to reinforce. No problem. Sherman cannot continue to engage with 2 AT guns positioned right here, and this somewhat strange base rush will unfortunately fail. Jackson is in production for LionKing next, and he's also going to field himself a fresh squad of paratroopers because his LMG paratroopers got wiped by LMG Grens in the engagement here on this open field. So that push went terribly. That probably could not have gone worse. I don't think I saw a single Oster target go down. 1 full squad of riflemen wiped, paratroopers with LMGs also wiped. Nothing killed in exchange. Oh god, that huge hit right there. Fortunately, the squad makes a miracle escape. This time. Sherman fully repaired over here on the left side. 2 squads making their way right to take control of the VP.
We have our reinforcements!
This is now German territory.
Enemy infantry has our bunker can now accommodate an MG-42.
MG-42 inside of the building. Grenade toss from the rifleman right there. Brings the squad low. Oh, just left through the wrong door, and the Captain's Thompson kills it at short range easily. Stolen pack howitzer trying to bombard these units from range. Right there. No lucky hits yet. High explosive rounds from the Sherman dealing heavy damage to the units in the structure. Oh god, the assault grenadiers just got wiped here as well. And that machine gun will get stolen, and the squad that steals it gets away clean. Captain also getting away clean. The Stug E over here on the left side almost wipes some rear echelon troops. They'll get away with 1 man remaining. Jackson is on the field to try and hunt and kill that Stug if possible. Tiger is on the field now as well. Jackson is caught a little out of position for that engagement. Can't quite get a shot off. Uses a tag round through the hedge, does not connect, hits the building. Tiger is still at full health, but it doesn't look like it's going to chase either. The Stug at Vet 1 does have access to target weak point. If it stuns that Jackson in Tiger range, it'll probably be destroyed. Meanwhile, AT guns are a little overextended, but they'll find an opportunity against that fuel cache, get that destroyed, try and shut down LionKing's early fuel advantage. So far, LionKing has not lost any of his armor, so his fuel situation is pretty good, but it's getting turned against him. His fuel cache just got destroyed. He's never held the right side fuel point, and he's now letting the left side fuel get harassed a little bit, so he's falling behind.
Pioneers ready for anything! You now have Tiger tanks at your command. Scout car has arrived. Scout car awaiting orders.
Scout car on the field. For some reason, I have no idea why he would field that late game scout car. But alright, sure.
How can we help?
Pioneers ready for assignment.
Pioneers
I don't really know how the vehicle cover system works. It's kind of like random. Exactly where the cover slots get. I feel like they could increase the radius on cover slots, vehicle cover slots. Kind of finicky. No wonder nobody uses that mechanic. It's kind of hard to get it to work. Tiger moves to engage against American infantry, harassing the left side cutoffs simultaneously with a bunker getting busted over here on the right side by a Sherman. Rear echelon troops harassing this fuel point. Captain is falling low to Stug and Tiger fire. Although the Tiger does take engine damage from a rifle grenade, the squad is immediately forced to retreat. Jackson moves up to try and deal damage to that Tiger from range. Captain has to retreat after taking sustained fire. Jackson also takes a big volley from those AT guns and is forced off the battlefield. Over here on the left side, fresh squad of paratroopers deployed with LMGs trying to work on the victory point, and the rear echelon troops will successfully take control of the right side fuel uncontested thanks to the efforts of this Sherman. Tiger will be forced off the battlefield for repairs briefly, and LionKing is waiting for munitions for a P-47 rocket strafe. Another 50 or so. Doug moves up to fire on those paratroopers. No lucky shots. Fortunately, it looks like they should be able to get away. Maybe.
We are losing a sector. It's done.
Both tanks fully repaired, available for engagements again on either side of the map. The right side defenses are extremely thin right now, almost everything being rotated left. Both AT guns, the Stug, Scout Car, Tigers also heading left, so these rear echelon troops will be able to continue their advance across the right side pretty much unopposed. Stolen MG-42 has been fully healed and is going to make its way to defend over here against any light harassment attempts. Riflemen peeking, will spot both AT guns, both tanks. Try and provide vision for the allied armor, which is on its way. Double Jackson on its way, and the P-47 rocket strafe will be available in 10 munitions. 2 Jacksons has a pretty good chance against this Axis armor as long as they can stay out of range of the AT guns. Infantry moving up the right side, trying to push those AT guns back and bleed these infantry. Smoke deployed on the Stug right there, apparently. Jackson moves up into close range. Wow, that one volley one-shots the Stug and it is destroyed. Riflemen are forced retreat. Jackson fire from range on that Tiger is bringing it low and the AT guns are not quite in position to counter. Stug goes down. I don't think any full squads of infantry went down, so Jackson's managed to pick up one target, bring the other one down to about 3/4 HP. AT guns finally move back into range to support against them, and then Jacksons have to pull back to safety. Rear echelon troops continue taking control of the right side completely unopposed. Even one squad of LMG Grens could shut down this harassment of the right, but it's costing the Oster a lot of resources, both resource points taken.
We are ready for
As he
action.
continues to focus all of his efforts on winning engagements over here on the left. LMG Grenadiers moving up against the Sherman right there. That will be forced back slightly by AT gun fire from the rear. 2 Jackson shots penetrate the Tiger. Big push by Oster. Infantry moving up. Paratroopers falling very quickly to Tiger fire. Jackson's trying to continue kiting. High explosive rounds also doing what they can. Almost losing that. Rifle grenade. Oh, there goes another paratrooper squad, I think, right? Oh, maybe not. Never mind. But they do drop both of their M1919s, I think. Or no. Is this a second squad? I'm confused. I'm pretty sure a paratrooper squad got wiped. I think this is a different paratrooper squad. Tiger moving up the left side. Sherman is forced back with extremely low health. Scout car working on riflemen in cover. Looks like they're going to get wiped. Really expensive series of engagements over here on the left for the US player who does have a triple cap going, in all fairness. But I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to maintain it. He has a 100 victory point lead, taking huge infantry losses, but fortunately he's still doing quite well for armor. Still has both Jacksons and his vetted Sherman. But the more he loses his infantry, the less and less opportunities he's going to have to clear these AT guns, and he's still spending a lot of munitions on grenades, I think, and LMG upgrades, so he still hasn't been able to call in a P-47 for some sort of coordinated strike on this Tiger. If you can bring a Tiger down to about half or less with Jackson fire, then a P-47 has a very good chance of finishing it off. Okay, so they did get wiped, and that's the second paratrooper squad. That explains it. Pio is moving up to repair the Tiger over here on the left side while capturing the fuel point. All Oster units pretty much being fielded to the left. As you can see, the Oster's core of infantry is looking very solid right now. 3 Grants, 3 Pios, mortar, and it's just various team weapons. Although having lost this machine gun clearly is causing issues. That hurts a little bit. Not having that MG-42 is costing him in map control over here on the right side. Lone squad harassment just isn't going that well. You may even want to consider getting more AT guns before he gets his next Tiger. With 2 Shermans and 2 Jacksons on the field, and not that much infantry, going with maybe a 3rd or even 4th AT gun might help him a little bit. Whereas if he goes with the second Tiger, he'll have a lot of resources invested into tanks, while his opponent already has a pretty decent counter to those on the field, plus the threat of P-47 rocket strikes. Something to keep in mind. Second Sherman on its way right. Left side victory point has fallen into Oster control, but if the US continues to just camp the two right side VPs, there will be a lot of pressure on the Oster to try and expand over here into the right side, or they'll just lose victory points slowly over the course of the game. But it'll take a long time to bleed out that much VPs on just 2 victory points.
Anti-personnel mines planted. Watch where you
S
step.
minefield down on the left side victory point to try and make harassment of that a little more difficult. A couple squads here in the base need to keep moving. It looks like the Major's retreat point is gonna move out of the base a little bit over here onto the right side. Sherman set up by this building, Jackson at range, another Sherman set up behind this building, and another Jackson at range. Interesting formation on those tanks, putting the Shermans behind shot blockers and then the Jacksons behind to try and counter any armored push. Major recon pass will give vision of the Oster base. There's nothing inside, and I think LionKing is gonna try and go for another base rush. I think he's gonna try and go for another base rush with his Jacksons and Shermans here. He did a recon pass to make sure the base was undefended. Saw the AT guns way left, and is just gonna jump in and try and snipe the tier 1 structure. Does get it very quickly, and then immediately disengages afterward. Pretty fun usage of the recon pass right there, by the way. to make sure that that push was going to succeed. Snipes the tier 1. His opponent now cannot use a Panzerfaust. So that's pretty much the biggest advantage of doing that. Not only can he not make Grens now, he can't use a Panzerfaust either. So that's a pretty nice pickup there for LionKing. He will also have access to the P-47. Tiger is going to peek without much support. Jackson's fire. Both shots connect, bringing the Tiger a little bit low. AT gun set up right there will push that Sherman away, though. Bring it to half health as it pulls back to safety. Grenadiers have no Panzerfaust, so this is just pointless manpower bleed. That Sherman is completely free to just dive those Grens. There's nothing they can do about it. Shermans are bullying these Grens so hard. I feel like Panzergrenadier Nordland also doesn't. He's probably like smashing the Panzerfaust button, like, why isn't this working? Or something. It's not very frequent for you to actually play a game where that actually comes up, where your tier 1 gets destroyed and suddenly you don't have Fausts anymore. But AT guns are doing a pretty good job against those Shermans. Lucky main gun destroyed crit right there. The Tiger will finish off the that Sherman. The other one with the main gun destroyed crit looks like it will be able to get to safety. P-47's coming in on the Tiger. It's very low. It's at about a fifth, I guess, HP. And I'm not sure if the second pass locked onto that Tiger or not. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. 222 working on some riflemen over here, but it takes engine damage from an anti-tank rifle grenade. Apparently, no, the P-47 is locked onto the 222 rather than the Tiger, but the Tiger is dangerously close to going down. AT guns trying to save the day, but it's not going to happen. Those Jacksons hunted it down and killed it, and those AT guns, in their attempt to save the day, walk right into this rifle squad and are probably also going to get cleared. So with the Tiger destroyed, the Stug destroyed, all Oster vehicles destroyed, and only one Sherman taken out in return, not entirely sure there's going to be any way for Panzergrenadier Nordland to salvage this game. He still has a pretty healthy core of infantry. His opponent has taken devastating infantry losses, and yet he still somehow managed to make that huge push. Will recover both AT guns, still has all 3 of his LMG Grens available. Getting back control of the left side cut off. The clock is still ticking against him during all of this. Only 114 points remaining now. LMG equipped paratroopers right there. Another squad of paratroopers being dropped right here as well to try and bolster his own infantry forces, while his opponent appears to be floating for a third Tiger. Is that right? No, second Tiger. This is a second Tiger. He's actually got so much fuel. He'll be able to get a third Tiger if eventually if he wants, but there's still 2 Jacksons on the field with a pretty healthy amount of veterans. They're actually getting stronger, I think. And I don't know if I think a Tiger would be a very good idea at this point. I think he should maybe just go AT. Well, he's got 2 AT guns. I don't know. I think he's just behind, and anything he builds is gonna be difficult. He's gonna have to engage very well from this point forward. It's just gonna be difficult to use a Tiger against double Jackson. Jacksons are very good at kiting heavy tanks to death, especially on a map with so many so much long-range engagements. It's kind of a long-range map. Tiger's more of a medium-range tank against Jackson, long-range tank destroyer. It really struggles. Jackson's moving up over here on the left. You see only Grenadiers. Still no Tier 1 structure, by the way, replaced. If he doesn't rebuild his Tier 1, he will have no Panzerfausts. Tiger moves up on that Vetu. Sherman catches it way out of position. AT Gun's trying to get a line, but can't find one. Sherman engaging against Grenadiers over here on the left side. Late reaction to this. They are just getting gunned down hard. No Panzerfaust. They can't do anything to convince that Sherman to back off. Tiger moving up the right side, however, inflicting heavy damage on these various forces. A full retreat is forced. The Jacksons and Sherman are just diving the base completely uncountered and unpunished. Oh no! The Jacksons are blowing up the Tier 2 structure while the Sherman annihilates all Oster infantry on the HQ. This is a devastating push. And there's nothing these Grenadiers can do about it. AT guns are way too late to salvage this situation. I think that's GG. And with the Tier 2 destroyed, no further AT gun production will be possible either. They finally get here. That Sherman will probably be destroyed. Maybe. Smoke got deployed a little bit late. Smoke will actually protect that AT gun from these paratroopers. Also, of course, protect the Sherman from the AT gun. Tiger is trying to make its way into the base and maybe save the day. All Grenadiers have been reinforced. All manpower float has been exhausted on trying to reinforce these heavily wounded squads. They actually get suppressed by, I guess, this base bunker. Sherman moves up to start poking at that Tiger. AT gun is set up in the back to try and punish that Jackson. Only 75 points remain for the Oster, who continues losing VPs during this thanks to harassment here in the back by that squad of riflemen. Flamethrower firing on the captain. Ooh, good RNG in that engagement. Squad gets wiped. Flamethrower will recover a bazooka. That might help a little, I guess. Everything forced to pull back over here on the left. Gonna get some repairs done on various vehicles. Couple squads also reinforcing and healing here in the US base. The clock is briefly stopped by this flamethrower squad. They'll be forced to retreat though by that Sherman. And wiped. Without Pios, he has no access to repairs. Oh, he does have one. One Pio squad. Very, very small army left here for the Oster. Healing and reinforcing desperately in the base. He has no tech structures left. He cannot replace any of his lost units. The only thing he can replace are his call-ins. They can't make Grens and he can't make AT guns, so everything he loses is a permanent loss until he replaces those tech structures. He doesn't seem to have any intention of doing for whatever reason. I really think he should have rebuilt his Tier 1 Panzerfaust. It's only 80 manpower and 10 munitions. I don't know why he wouldn't, and 10 fuel, not munitions. I don't know why he wouldn't rebuild that. Without Panzerfausts, these Shermans are just going to town on his infantry. There goes another full Grenadier squad. Stolen MG gets cleared by the Tiger over here. Recon pass by the Major to try and provide vision of where the AT guns are, I think. He will spot them with his paratroopers anyway. With full knowledge of the location of those AT guns. Ooh, Teller mine. Nice, sneaky Teller mine. Jackson gets a lucky main gun destroy crit right there on this Teller mine. The other Jackson moving up tries to destroy the med bunker. Should be able to finish that off, I think. Tiger is moving to try and counter the AT guns. Also trying to move up to do something against that damaged Jackson. Tiger should be able to force retreat from the paratroopers. Damaged Jackson is destroyed after hitting that Teller mine. The other Teller mine that was being planted over here does not complete, fortunately.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
There's now 3 Shermans on the field, though. Even a Sherman Swarm could threaten to just finish out this game, honestly. But it may not be necessary. With only 41 VPs remaining and paratroopers being fielded on the right side victory point, this may be the game. As he's forced to make a decision between defending his base or defending the victory points, and he doesn't have enough resources to do both. I think he's just going to get outproduced. LMG paratroopers moving up to try and clear the AT guns. There goes that one. Tiger is not able to do enough damage to these paratroopers quickly enough to protect those AT guns in this engagement. Light artillery barrage being dropped on them, but it's too late. Almost wipes that squad, though. Not quite. Tiger, 1 hit from death. Any second. Oh, 2 hits from death. AT gun recovery attempt will fail, but I'm pretty sure this Tiger's gonna go down to that Vet 2 Jackson. Ghost Tier player still does not have any access to Panzerfausts. Here it comes at short range. Tiger is destroyed. A third Tiger does make it to the battlefield, in all fairness, but I just don't think it's going to matter. Oh, that was a Panzerfaust. Tier 1 finally has been reconstructed here in the base. This Vet 2 Jackson looks like it's going to go down. It actually gets abandoned. But it doesn't matter. Sherman's moving up to trade. He doesn't even have the munitions for Panzerfaust because of his light artillery barrage. 3 Shermans going in hard on the final Tiger. It's not even rotating, it's rear armor away from these Shermans. This crew gets out to try and drop aggro. This Jackson is actually going to block pathing slightly. Gets destroyed by Sherman fire right there. The vehicle crew forces the Grenadiers to retreat. Meanwhile, all victory points have been retaken by paratroopers and major elsewhere on the battlefield. That Tiger, whether it gets destroyed or not, is irrelevant, as the victory points have run out, and LionKing will take this game. I think Panzergrenadier Nordland had a chance this game at one point, but he just kind of messed up in engagements. At one point, he was very ahead. His opponent had almost no infantry remaining at all. LionKing somehow managed to pull things back together with good usage of his tanks. Shermans inflicted serious damage on his opponent, and destruction of the Tier 1 here had a very dramatic impact because it prevented his opponent from using Panzerfaust, so that was kind of an interesting thing to see. Maybe you can incorporate that into your own strategies against your opponent. If you can snipe his Tier 1, then for a brief period you may have immunity to engine damage. So that was kind of cool, actually. I've never seen that employed like that before. So GG, Allies win.